Hi, my name is Emily Kotecki, and I'm the Associate Coordinator of Teen and College Programs.
And my name is Michelle Harrell, and I coordinate teen and college programs, and I'm the project manager for this distant learning program. And we're from the North Carolina Museum of Art, which is a state art museum which includes free admission to our permanent collection, which spans 500 years from ancient Egypt to the present. We also recently, in 2005, received a gift of 29 Rodin sculptures, making it the largest repository of his sculptures in the American South. Another gem of our museum, another surprise of our museum, is the fact that we're located in the heart of North Carolina, in the state's capital, in Raleigh, an urban area, but in 164 acres of natural rolling woodlands that have been integrated with over a dozen site-specific artworks. It's one of the largest museum parks in the country. And we're here to share with you some of our experiences in developing online experiences to connect our museum to teens across the entire state.
So, in the beginning, the reason it wasn't about technology. The Education Department identified a gap in our programming beyond tours and field trips. We had audience-specific programming for pre-K through middle school, and then it dropped off, and then it picked up back again with adults and seniors. So we identified high school students as an audience that we really wanted to reach. We didn't want to just reach teens in the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area. As Michelle mentioned, we're a statewide museum, and we wanted to reach teens across the state. And if you're unfamiliar with North Carolina, it's a state that's about 860 miles wide. So it can take about 10 hours if you're driving from point to point. And Raleigh's right in the middle. So it could take someone 5 to 6 hours just to get to our museum. So distance posed a problem, and we wanted to reach all of those teens. So we received a grant. But even though you have a grant and you have money to do things, you still are limited in time and resources. And we wanted to find a partner that could help us deliver the content that we wanted to create. So we also were able to support a statewide agency, or in the North Carolina Virtual Public School. So Michelle will talk a little bit about that partnership.
So we obviously had challenges, and who would have known another state agency had challenges and needs too. So we partnered together. Our needs and challenges we've already mentioned, limited time, resources, and wanting to reach the state and not having that way to deliver it. North Carolina Virtual Public Schools had a need to create curriculum and provide multimedia resources that our museum could offer. So tell you a little bit about North Carolina Virtual Public Schools. This is a network that reaches every school system in North Carolina. So any high school student in the state that's in public schools can take these semester-long 4-credit courses at no charge to that student. Any student in a private school or in a homeschool setting can pay for them, much like college tuition. So this was a grant-funded partnership that we own the content and they deliver it. But because it's not just about teaching, it's really about learning. So instead of, we don't think of this as a partnership about owning and delivering as much as a professional learning community. We had to learn to work together for the best interests of the learner, providing resources together. So first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about the courses. We're coming to the end of the grant-funded project, and we've created 5 courses using the art in our collection as catalysts for learning other subjects. Art subjects, these are art credit courses, but they're not traditional art courses that compete with our existing North Carolina course offerings. So art of game design and fashion and advertising that combine both object-based learning and studio-based components. So take a little bit of a closer look inside the courses and meet one of the students that recently took our courses. Go to the next slide.
We want to give you a glimpse from the student perspective of the online courses we developed with the North Carolina Virtual Public School.
I took the art of photography online because my school didn't offer it, so when I found out that I could take an online photography thing, I was really excited about that because I do love photography a lot. And I also think it was good because you go to school with the same kids every day, you know what I mean? So when you're in an online course, you're with a whole new set of people, like fresh minds, fresh ideas.
These classes use art in our collection to teach about topics such as game design, fashion, photography, videography, and advertising. The course is organized into modules or units. Within each unit, there are 6 sections: preview, explore, connect, create, imagine, and review. In Explore, students discover new concepts through articles, video tutorials, collaborative wikis, and blogs.
The Connect folder connects works of art in our collection to what they're learning in that module. Video combines audio from the artists, curators, or museum educators with footage of works of art to give the student a sense of scale and detail. Students apply the concepts and ideas and create their own artwork in the Create section. Live meetings and discussion forums foster community among the students and help them engage with the art online. These courses act as virtual windows into the museum and connect art students from across our state.
You have to meet with people a lot strictly online, which was something new that I had never done before until this class. Like how you never really met your teacher, you only talked to them on the phone, and how like you were able to interact with kids who live like all across the state. It kind of helped you like get a feel for the kind of relationships you were forming.
We hope that these courses are an entryway, that students are more aware of their state art museum and the opportunities it has to offer.
My perception of the museum changed a lot because although it was really close to my house, I didn't really have an idea of what was actually in the museum. And after I entered this course, I was able to enter one of the contests. I was able to know the kind of artwork that was displayed here and actually get an opportunity to come down and see it.
So as Caitlin mentioned, these courses are both synchronous and asynchronous. They're self-paced, so you may have a student that's taking this as a 5th course at home at night, or some school systems actually support a learning lab where you have one distance learning advisor that works with an entire classroom of students taking online courses. Especially for the rural communities of North Carolina, this is a win-win to be able to offer advanced electives such as Russian and AP Calculus for small schools that would never be able to justify the enrollment for a teacher in that position, and courses such as game design and videography. So, I've been at the museum for nearly 3 years, and Emily too, and we consider what we're doing rapid prototyping. We constantly are reinventing ourselves and learning from as we go, as far as the partnership and that community that we've got with 2 entities working together for this. One of the ideas that we've learned already revised the entire process of creating courses. I came in before I started at the museum actually as a teacher from the classroom as an advisory panel member for the first course 3 years ago. And it was created in a more traditional setting where the teachers that were going to teach the course, those online teachers, wrote the curriculum. And I was on the advisory panel with about 10 other experts in the field of online learning, teachers, as well as experts. It was a videography course. And the feedback was more of a critique than a collaboration. So within the first revision, we said, okay, that's not going to work. We needed a more open source approach to really using those experts in the field from the beginning to create the course. So transparency, communication, all of those things have been valued in the entire process and partnership. We begin the courses now with a think tank with about 20 people, much in the same kind of format. I've been taking notes about the way that we collaborate, where we brainstorm, use lots of Post-it notes to figure out what students need to learn and be able to do. And then those courses are developed transparently online as the writers propose ideas, and the advisory panel, who was part of the process from the beginning, vet those ideas all along. That idea of divergent thinking and cross-pollination also supports the courses as they're delivered. And we come in as guest speakers. We provide learning libraries for the students that don't have the equipment. So it's an investment of time and thought and energy that's been helped the courses become more stronger and more authentic.
So just to kind of vet where we are now, to look at where we've come and where we are now, is that this fall we will offer all of these 5 courses We have served over 1,100 students have taken our courses, and we've reached 73 counties out of the 100 counties in North Carolina. And so yesterday on the slide that I think Ann had about rural states, and North Carolina was number 4. And so this is a great way for us to reach those students and offer a virtual window into our collection. But where we want to go next and where we're looking ahead is the idea of blended learning that's been mentioned a lot. And we're hoping to pilot a project in February where we have 5 courses, semester-long courses that are so rich with content and multimedia, and take that idea and repurpose it in a way that's new so that if kids that we're reaching have taken our courses, they do see something new. But we make them shorter units, and we do blend the idea of online and face-to-face so that we don't only own the content, we also are there to help see the impact that students are being affected by with our courses, because right now we don't have that access to those students. We were lucky to have Caitlin come in. She was part of our art scene. It's their annual teen event every year and our annual teen art competition, so we try to find ways to bring them into our on-site location because that's critically important, as we've all noticed and noted. So that is something we're looking into the future to do, is blend the online and face-to-face and continue to connect teens to our current existing teen programs.
And take these ideas to other audience. We've learned this because we wanted to connect with high school students, but now we're looking at, okay, take what we've learned with high school and then look at other audiences. So we're piloting a middle school course over the next year and working with the teacher programs and trying to find ways to share this network experience. Questions or comments?
So now that you have developed these 5 courses, and particularly given the fact that you've developed them in an asynchronous fashion, do you have plans to at least offer a version of them that can be opened up outside the state of North Carolina to other students across the country and the world?
We've talked about that, of what that future looks like. And, we're starting with high school and then maybe middle and then blended learning, but we look ahead to, is it opening up to the people of North Carolina and beyond? It's been a conversation.
And technically, student by student could pay for those courses just as a student in private school or homeschool could pay for, it's $700 a semester. But because we have this network within the state institution, the public school students in North Carolina is free.
We're going to do just one more question, and then we're going to go into our break and start back up with our presentations.
This is kind of a 2-part question. Who's in the room when you're putting one of these together? And 2, how important is it that you highlight your collections, or are the collections simply sort of secondary to the topic of the course?
All of the work that's used as catalyst for learning comes from the permanent collection. So we have in the room itself of the think tank a mixture of backgrounds depending upon the course that's being created. We've brought in museum curators, museum educators that are not in our particular program that bring some knowledge and expertise, as well as practicing teachers that are not connected with North Carolina Virtual Public School, that maybe teach only face-to-face in the subject we're developing. College faculty members have been a huge part. I would say sometimes as big as a third or half of the participants in the think tank, whether it's online learning, educational experts, or in the subject that we're developing, such as game design or photography, as well as artists from the field. We've been honored to have such a great contemporary collection that we can pull from North Carolina artists and have them talk with the teachers and then even participate in the process of the course. They're part of the vetting online and looking at the course online as it develops.
And the experts. So with our fashion course, Michelle organized a fashion show with local designers. And so we had fashion designers come to the museum. Their pieces were, responding to a piece of art. So with game design, we had game designers. So experts in the field are also there. And in terms of the collection, in the course, we kind of went through in that video, it talks about the connect section, and that section connects our pieces of art to that topic that maybe they're exploring composition and photography. And so we pull from our collection and says, this is how this photographer uses composition. And also in the beginning of each course, we say, why is art in a game design course? Why is art in a fashion course? So from the beginning, we're kind of having them think about, this is not your traditional, this game design course is not all programming, but it's conceptual and it's using art to think about games and think about ideas. So that's where I think the art kind of fits in.
Thank you both so much.
All right, thank you.